Hello, my name is Krishan and I'm going to be answering the questions. So the first question is, what did you think of the husband? I think the husband at various times could be very I guess like he just really wasn't paying attention to Andrea. It seemed to me as if he just kind of took all of these things that the doctors were saying and just kind of like pushed it in the back of his mind. He seemed like the type of man who just allowed for his wife to like work, work and not do anything to help her, and seem as if he just thought that because she's a mother that she should be doing all of these things because she was diagnosed with all of these things with postpartum psychoticness and all of those things, and it seemed like he didn't really take it seriously. It seemed as if he just kind of like disregarded all of the things that she was going through. She would have psychotic breaks. She tried to kill herself 2 times, and it seemed to me as if he disregarded that. And also in terms of taking care of their kids, it didn't really seem like he did much. Andrea was taking care of 4 kids and then 5 kids, and it seemed to me as if he didn't really help her or do much to get her help. And like, what did he do wrong? Just disregarding her, not really paying attention. She was diagnosed with different disorders. She tried to kill herself, and to me, I don't really think he did anything about it. I mean, he took her to the hospital. He took her, and then she was put in a psych ward. But other than that, I don't think he really did anything. And also, there was at a point in a video where they said that she just stopped taking medications and stopped going to a therapist, which is something like, if your wife needs help, like that's not something that you should let her stop. And also, there's a point in the video where the therapist said for them to not have another child because that would just cause her to have another psychotic break, and they decide he got her pregnant anyways. And then, should he have gone to jail? I don't know if he should have gone to jail. I definitely think they should have asked him more questions. I don't know if they questioned him at all, but I definitely think they should have asked him about their home life and what were the things like. Were you aware that Andrea had problems? Did you do anything to help her? I definitely do think he should have been questioned. What do you think about Andrea herself? Andrea just she honestly seems like just a very sick woman, and I don't mean that in a dehumanizing way. I mean it as more so like, I just think she was somebody who was clearly not mentally well, and it seemed to me as if the people around her didn't really take it seriously. Like, they did take her to the doctor and she did get diagnosed, but they abruptly stopped her medications and they stopped taking her to a therapist. It seemed to me as if because of the religion that they were following, it seemed to me that that type of religion encouraged them to like not take mental health seriously and not take their medications and whatnot. But as for Andrea herself, like, I think unfortunately she seemed like from the video, she seemed like an okay, nice person, but I think overall she definitely had a lot of mental illnesses, and if they were taken seriously and she was given serious help, I think that might have prevented her from killing her children. Was she insane? I guess in the mental like respect, then yes, she was insane. I don't think she was sane. I definitely think she was mentally insane in like that aspect. Um, Honestly, what mental illnesses I think she suffered from, just like I said, the ones that they said in the video. But I also think it's possible that she could have suffered from bipolar disorder, because in the video they said that some women who develop postpartum psychosis then go on to be diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So I think she probably had bipolar disorder, and also like she probably could have had like religious psychosis. I know that's a very common thing, and because of these things that these people were telling her, it could have been very possible that she had religious psychosis. What are some features that I find interesting about her past and her personality? I thought it was very interesting how in high school she seemed like a very great student. She seemed like an overachiever, somebody who accomplished and achieved a lot. I thought that was pretty interesting, and her personality, she just seemed very shy and very to herself, which is kind of why I guess it could be a surprise as to why people think that, a surprise as to why she killed her children, because she just seemed very closed off and it didn't seem like something that somebody like her would do. Um, did the system fail Andrea? Yes, I think the system failed her, especially during that time that was like in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, just recently, until just recently, mental illness was not something that was taken seriously at all. So I do think the system failed her in not really taking her mental illness seriously, and also just the people around her, like her husband and her family, just they weren't really, making sure that she was taking her medications or going to her therapist. So I do think the system failed her. Also, in terms of how there aren't really things in place to help new mothers who are dealing with postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis. They don't really have things or resources to help women to go through that. So they then develop postpartum psychosis, and in this case, in Andrea's case, she ended up killing her children. And I think if there were more resources to mothers and just for mental health in general, stuff like this wouldn't happen. Um, how can something like this be prevented in the future? Just by, like I said, giving resources to women who do develop postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis, and also like the stigma of like when a woman becomes a mother, she just has to drop everything in order to become a mother, which is very stressful. Andrea was taking care of 4 children and then 5 children, all by herself. There was a point where they were living in an RV. I mean, it's anybody if they're in that situation, it would kind of make you lose your mind, especially if you're not really getting any help from your partner. So I guess a way to prevent this, to make sure that the woman is not taking care of the child by themselves, that they have help from their partner and their family. And I know in the video there was one woman who was her friend, but other than that, I'm not sure if she had any other friends. So it doesn't seem like she really had like a village around her to help her take care of the children, or just anybody that she could talk to, other than her husband, about what she was going through, about what she was feeling. So I guess just to make sure that women and people have these resources when it comes to postpartum and for mental illnesses. If you were on the jury, would you have found her guilty or would you have said she was insane? Um, would you find her guilty? I think I would say that she was insane, because I think for it to be legally insane, I think they said it's whether the person knew what they were doing was wrong. And I don't know. I think it's kind of hard, because I'm sure in the moment Andrea knew that killing her children was wrong, but I think she did it because she felt like she had to. There was obviously something inside of her telling her that she had to murder her children in order to save them. So I guess you could argue that she did know what she was doing was wrong, but it wasn't like it was something that she felt like she had to do. So I don't know. I don't think I would find her guilty, but as to whether or not I would say she was like legally insane, um I guess I would say yes. I guess I could say in that moment she didn't know what she was doing was wrong, because she felt like she was doing the right thing for her children. So yeah, I think that one could argue that she was legally insane. So that's it.